How's it going? Let's talk about March Madness. Tournament kicked off a couple days ago, and I think it's time I give my thoughts on it. And I think really the first place to start, Catholicism. St. Patrick's Day was phenomenal for Catholics. There were several Catholic schools in this year's tournament: Gonzaga, Notre Dame, St. Mary's, Marquette, San Francisco, St. Peter's, Villanova, Seton Hall, Loyola Chicago, Providence, and Creighton. Of those schools, the ones that played on St. Patrick's Day, all of them but Marquette won. And I'm talking Eastern time zone here. Marquette, they fell to UNC, and maybe this one proves the devil is stronger. I don't know. But Gonzaga came out strong. Well, they came out a little weak, but they were able to finish strong and beat Georgia State. Notre Dame, their game notably did not end in the first four until St. Patrick's Day due to a double overtime, and they were able to finish it off with a lucky putback against Rutgers. St. Mary's just absolutely thwomped Indiana. I mean, they didn't see what coming. Marquette, on the other hand, they did get thwomped by UNC, but again, who knows. St. Peter's, with the shocker of the tournament so far, came out, beat Kentucky. No one saw that coming. Providence was strong in a game many thought they'd lose against South Dakota State. And speaking of San Diego State, they couldn't handle Creighton. Creighton was able to come out and they were able to beat the comeback. They were able to give the comeback, and they were able to beat the Aztecs. Now, today for Catholics, not as good. San Francisco, their game was on St. Patrick's Day, but here in the Eastern time zone, not even due to the overtime, just due to the late start time for the game. But it certainly didn't help them to win the overtime. Murray State was able to secure the win on the day after St. Patrick's Day, March 18th. Villanova today, they did come out strong. They just handled Delaware like they should, like a 2-seed should, looking at Kentucky. And Seton Hall, not a good day for them. They TCU, maybe Protestants do it better. I don't know. Also, Loyola Chicago, Ohio State just dominated them. I mean, as much as you can dominate someone when you only score 50 points, they were dominant. Now let's go game by game. Tournament started off with a strong game with Michigan and Colorado State, and really that game, I thought Colorado State had it in the bag, and I think Colorado State did too. They eased up. Michigan was able to adapt, varied some defense, and they came back from down 15 to wind up winning by 12. Very impressive for Michigan, and Juwan Howard, set his second game back from his suspension for hitting a man. But he was able to do it. Now let's look at Providence and South Dakota State. A lot of people pick this one as an upset, and I always think you should shy away from the common upset pick. It gives the other team fuel for the fire, and it's also just hedging your bets bracket-wise a good bet. Now, it looked like I was going to be wrong there, but there was a call at the end of a game a lot of people didn't like. There was a three-pointer South Dakota State took, would have tied it up, and people thought it should have been a foul. Wasn't. I mean, that's just, you can't put yourself in a situation where you live by the ref and you die by the ref. That's just, I'm sorry, Providence was, South Dakota State fouled a Providence three-pointer, and Providence took those three shots, they made them, and they didn't look back. And there's the question, natural shooting motion or not, I don't know. But it does not matter. because you can't put yourself in a situation where you are going to win or lose a game based on one call. And that's something I'm going to say a couple times. For me, if you want my judgment, I thought it was natural shooting motion. I didn't think he drew the foul on purpose. And if he did a good job hiding it. Memphis, Boise State. Not much to say there. Memphis just dominated start to finish. They let up a little, but really nothing notable. Same thing with the next game of the day, and really the one after that. Baylor, Norfolk State, Longwood in Tennessee. High seeds took care of business just like they should. Now, high seeds taking care of business was not the theme for Richmond and Iowa. A lot of people were mad about end of game. Iowa, clear whack on the arm. Doesn't matter. You can't be losing to Richmond and then complain when you don't get a call. Was that a missed foul? Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Were there other missed fouls after that? Yeah, probably. Would any of those have swung the game? Maybe. You can't know for sure. But you can't get outplayed for 40 minutes by Richmond and then complain about a missed call. Put yourself in a position to win, because that can happen to any team at any time. I alluded to this one earlier, Gonzaga, Georgia State. Gonzaga came out not flat. I think Georgia State just came out ready to play. And that's what happened. They played. It was about to hit 50 points. Gonzaga pulled away, didn't look back, won by 21. Reminds me a little bit, a couple years ago, 2019, Gardner-Webb, Virginia. And we know what happened with Virginia in that tournament. So maybe a good sign for the Zags. Marquette, UNC, another thrashing by the high seed. You don't normally see those in 8-9 games. But UNC took care of business. I've seen UNC lose by 20 points or so. I've seen them win by 20 points, 30 points in this one. It's confusing. It's the team that I think broke Roy Williams, and I think Hubert Davis is doing the best he can with them in his first year. New Mexico State, UConn. What a game. I mean, this game was great. I don't have a lot to say other than New Mexico State showed why they belong in the tourney year after year, and they finally were able to beat, a big power school like Connecticut, and I'm happy for them. Now, St. Peter's in Kentucky. Kentucky, come on, you're better than this. You're losing to St. Peter's. Their budget is like 3 years of Cal's salary. I mean, that's first of all, I don't want to detract from St. Peter's. Incredible performance. However, I mean, they looked like the better team on the court most of the time. But all that said, Kentucky makes their free throws, and especially in overtime, missed 5 of 6. This is not a game St. Peter's wins, but that doesn't matter because Kentucky missed and the Peacocks won, and it's one of the biggest upsets, certainly budget-wise, in tournament history. During the game, I really got a lot of Ohio State or Roberts flashbacks from last year, and result was very similar with a 15 seed winning it in overtime. Speaking of overtime, Creighton, San Diego State. San Diego State, make your free throws. Come on. It's not hard. Creighton, they played harder, especially when their big guy went down. I'm not sure what the injury was. I know they said today he'll be back in 2 to 3 months, which makes me think it's a sprain, but I am not a doctor. Vermont, Arkansas, free throws. And also, I think there should have been a 4-point play in that game that would have evened it up and potentially swung the outcome. But again, you can't put yourself at the mercy of the refs. Akron and UCLA. What a game. I mean, that was one of the best games of the day. I know I've said that a lot, but it's true. I think UCLA, I think they just came in and they were nervous. I just think they got nervous. They have such high expectations after last year's Cinderella run, and Akron is a good team. And I think UCLA was looking past that. They almost let their nerves get the better of them, but they were able to not do that in the end. I also think Akron, just at the very end of the game, Michael Wynn, a Wake Forest transfer, after Danny Manning was fired, had an open look in the corner that would have put the Zips up one, but they didn't find him there, and I think that might have cost him the game. I don't know if he'd make it, but I do know he's a good shooter. San Francisco, Murray State, what a game. I think this is a great 7-10 game. I think those are some of the best games in the tournament usually, at least in terms of even matches. 7-10s, 8-9s usually. And I think this shows the committee got it right. You know, people weren't, a lot of people at least, weren't sure how to seed Murray State in the Ohio Valley Conference because, you know, they've only lost 2 games to Auburn and East Tennessee State, but they did lose 2 games, and the Ohio Valley Conference doesn't have the reputation as the best conference in America, to say the least. Kansas, Texas Southern, Texas Southern, they're always in the tournament. They always do well enough. I usually would pick them in the first 4, just like this year, but Kansas, just too much to handle. Also today was IU, St. Mary's. Not much to say there. IU just got ran out of the gym. Only highlight for the Hoosiers was the cheerleader play, where they took the little, knocked the ball out from. That was pretty cool. That's it though. I mean, maybe IU should have left the ball up there. I don't know. Might have been better for him. Looking at it today, a defensive masterclass from Ohio State. Held Loyola at only 41. It's going to be interesting to see how the Ramblers do in their new conference. Hope they do well. Sister Gina's always great to see her. Hope to see her again next year at the tournament. Jacksonville State, Auburn. Looked like Jacksonville State was going to give them a little run, and then it really suddenly didn't. I mean, geez. Auburn, came out. They took control. That's what you need to do. Montana State, Texas Tech. Montana State never looked like they had a shot. Texas Tech just came out, handled them. Purdue, Yale, I thought first 10 minutes Yale played really well. And then Purdue figured it out, just going big in the post every single time. And use those big European 7-footers to your advantage. Villanova, Delaware, not much to say there. And this next stretch of games I was on a bus for. I didn't get to see a lot of them like I did earlier, but I still have thoughts from what I did catch. Miami, USC, game of runs, and Miami, credit to them. They stuck with it. They weathered the storm from USC to start the second half, and their experience won them that game. Whether coaching or their seniors, or their super seniors, or their super duper seniors, experience was the decider there. Notre Dame, Alabama, I didn't get to catch any of this one, but Notre Dame, Alabama was a team that everyone thought was losing in the first round to go into the Final Four. Looks like it's a first round exit. Texas, Virginia Tech, also didn't catch much of this one. I did see the Texas 3/4 court shot. That was pretty cool. That's it, though. Nothing else was cool. Virginia Tech, I thought they could do it. Didn't pull it off. That's okay. Illinois, Chattanooga. Illinois escaped with that one. You know, that's why it's important to make your free throws, and, you know, they were able to do that. That's what counts. Chattanooga had a good shot to win it at the end, but they couldn't do it. Cal State Fullerton, Duke blowout, just what we expect. I do think it was intentional by the committee to set up a Duke Michigan State game 6 times. This will be their 6th meeting in the tournament. It makes sense to see K and Izzo play one last time. Arizona Wright State did what they needed to. Iowa State LSU. I was able to catch just a little bit of that. What a clutch 3-pointer from Iowa State. Beautiful shot. LSU, I think they could have won this game if they had not let their coach go. We'll wait. I think they should have let him go. What he did was not right and needed to have consequences. I just think timing for them is unfortunate. Davidson, Michigan State, you know, another great 7-10 game. Michigan State able to come out on top of the Wildcats. Threes from Davidson at the end, kind of crazy, but Michigan State, Izzo, experienced coach was the difference there. I will say, though, both teams in that game needed to work on their inbounds plays, because it was rough at the end for both of them. Near turnovers. Michigan State did have a turnover that could have cost them the game. UAB Houston took care of business. Same with TCU Seton Hall. TCU just it's not great for the Pirates. And then Colgate, Wisconsin. You know, Colgate doing really well until they got run off the 3-point line, and then they didn't do that well. That was the difference in that game, is Wisconsin was able to get Colgate off the 3-point line. Wrapping up, I think I've got a few rules for picks. I never pick New Mexico State, never pick Vermont. New Mexico State finally pulled the upset this year. I still like my rule. Replay and refs. Refs, pretty good. Don't put yourself at their mercy, though, and you'll be a lot happier. Replays. We don't need to look at every out-of-bounds call under 2 minutes. I know that's what they want. I know that's right, but if it's close enough where you're not confident in your call, just call it a jump ball and let's move on. We don't need to slow down the game. I thought at the end of the Miami USC game, it almost cost Miami the game because USC got a free timeout on a call that I didn't think was all that questionable. Announcers, I thought, were good, except in the Iowa game. That was rough. They seemed like Iowa homers to me. Mountain West Conference, overvalued. I don't want to come in here and diminish a conference based on tournament results, but you can't have 4 teams and all of them lose, and that's unacceptable. I think there's a flaw with strength of schedule metrics because they don't account for teams improving as the year goes on in conference play, and that's got to be a problem. I think they address. I think the ACC was a conference that was hurt by that, and I've got some bias there, but I do think it's true that they probably deserved a team or two more in and didn't get it because strength of schedule was just so bad because of early out-of-conference play. And Big Ten, I thought they struggled, but overall they were 7-3 in games so far, so you can't say too much about them. I just think a lot of their games were closer than they needed to be, and the losses were bad. And lastly, jerseys. It's nice to see the home team always wearing white. There's some matchups I got confused a little because I'm so used to teams wear their colors on at home a lot. But it was nice, Wisconsin Colgate. I got a little tripped up. Murray State San Francisco. I got a little tripped up, and Baylor Norfolk State. But really, it was nice. I think it's good that teams are wearing their whites at home, and I'd like to see that kind of make its way back in for non-tournament games. I think that's all I have. Go Deeks tomorrow, or I guess today. in the NIT against VCU.